You climb the stairs to the garret. It is a tiny stone room, the walls plastered with astrological charts, some ancient and some so fresh that their ink still gleams. In the center of the space is a desk, and sitting behind it, the Archmage. He's alive. He doesn't seem to have a crown on his head though. Behind the desk is a wizened old man with long shocks of black hair. He holds a quill, pen, and looks up curiously as you enter. Yes? Can I help you? I have came for the crown. Come. Should I just tell I am the Analander? I think like that would be more dramatic. I am the Analander. He's seen me. I had vision of him. Why he does not recognize me? You declare. I think you have been expecting me. The man looks back at you sadly, silent for a moment. Doubt begins to creep into your heart. Can this truly be the cruel Archmage of High Zeman? He seems tired, even shy. I see you have traveled a long way. He remarks. You must be tired. Please, sit. We may talk as equals for a moment. He gestures to a chair. Yeah, this sounds like trap, doesn't it? This is a trap. The walls are coated with a minimite blood. No magic can function here. You are quite safe. Try. If you do not believe me. Reaching across his desk, he lifts the stopper and the sender and pours out a glass of thick red wine. I know better than to offer you one, he remarks as he sips his own. I couldn't use spell lower. I actually could believe him on that one. All damage I get so far, it wasn't from magic either. I could cast a simple spell just to see. You attempt a spell, but the Archmage appears to be right. You cannot master any magic. Master. Fine, let's pour myself a glass of wine. You reach across the table and pour yourself a glass. He watches with some approval as you sip. The wine is heavy, dark and potent. So, he says, sipping once more and wiping the stein from his lips. You are here for the crown, I believe. Tell me, where is it? The Archmage nods. He seems to be chewing something over. Do you know, Analander, what it is the crown does? Do you understand its power? The crown controls the will of others. I think. Precisely. But perhaps you have not quite understood the depth of that. The crown is a grimalkin, a construction for the channeling of starlight into magic. It is set with jewels of gold and lined with a ring of bone and covers the wearer's skull in a cloth. It generates spell of both illusion, worship and mental insight. I know, it cannot be left in your hands. You tug of it like a weapon, the Archmage observes. But the crown does not grant victory. The crown causes the wearer desires to become the unthinking thoughts, reflex, actions, and spontaneous whims of those around. It occupies the free will itself. It's like illusion? Its power is no illusion. Its power is quite real. Those under its command cannot know themselves to be controlled, and nor could anyone else. It cannot be resisted. The crown of kings shapes people the way the eons shape the course of river. Why are you telling me this? His reply is strange gentle. I am trying to make you understood something which will be most difficult to understand. And I mean you no offense by that. You are intelligent enough, but I fear you have a shock in store. He pauses for a moment, his eyes filled with a strange sadness. You have come a long way for this crown, I see that. You think me evil, a tyrant. But I am none of those things. I am the ARCHMAGE of the fortress of sorcerers. A fading but noble institution, and I spend my days trying to repair the terrible destruction wrought on the land in my care by your ignorant, reckless use of beacons of past light. You did place those beacons yourself. I did, and left untouched, they would have protected the land for 10,000 years. Did you not notice the towers were all sealed? Past light burns with the power of the sun. It must be filtered, measured. But you opened the 4 beacons wide and threw them over my land. Over my people. He bangs the desk as he speaks, almost shouting. There is a tear in the corner of his eye. Shit, I did not know. And you did not stop to think. His cracked voice quivers with rage. The fate of the world is at stake. Is it? Because I have this crown, Analander? I do not have the crown, and I never did. You stare at him. He gives every appearance of honesty. Then, where is it? I am so sorry. I know how hard it will be to accept what has been done to you, but can you not on some level feel it? Do you not sense that you are not in control of yourself? What are you talking about? You have been under the spell for some time. I can imagine how it began. Most likely there was a day in Analand, perhaps, near the wall when you woke up and your will was not your own, and since then you have been compelled to march here to do me a harm. Fuck. It's kind of how it went. I took control over him there. I understand it, I think. It is my mission. Nothing has been done to me. Are you sure? Consider this. Do you even know what this crown looks like? This object that you have traveled so far, so single-mindedly to find? It might have been lying on table in the first village you passed through, and you would not have known, am I correct? It is the crown of kings. It is, but do you know what it looks like? And does it not seem strange you were not told? He shakes his head. My good man, you have seen the crown already. You have stood in its presence, but you do not remember. Perhaps you think it was just a dream. Such is its power. But what else but the crown could have sent you on such a journey as this? At such terrible cost. I have dreamed of it, yes. Dream? Dreams, voices from deep inside, fighting for your attention? The Archmage voice softens. Another question then. You introduced yourself as the Analander, correct? Correct. He smiles. My friend, are you truly so far gone that you do not even know your own name? His words echo around the tiny room. Paper charts flutter. Your memories of Analand, the king and the childhood in Chowberry Wood all seem suddenly distant, like vague mentions, half-remembered overhead stories. Mere snippets. If the crown is so powerful, how could my beardman have stolen it from your king? Continues the Archmage gently now. Think, Analander. Think for yourself. Just once, before you strike me down. You strain your mind, trying to remember. Walking in the hood in the northern settlement, sword ready, dreaming of the crown. Where were you before that moment? How did you come to be on this quest for which you have given so much? You push the Archmage's wand away, across the table. He smiles sadly. This is no trick, I fear. You have not been poisoned. You have my word on that. But if you are right, you begin weakly, then why am I here? A good question. He nods. I imagine your king sent you simply to kill me. Your king has the crown, and he knows that we in Mampak Fortress are the only ones capable of countering its power. The crown can be countered? All magic can be countered. But to counter the crown, one must cast a spell in the presence of the crown that its wearer does not want cast. It is quite impossible. The Archmage sighs. I'm sorry, Analander, or whoever you truly are, your whole quest has been a lie. The crown is in Analand, and you are nothing but an assassin. What do I do now? The Archmage holds your gaze for a moment before replying. First, you should rest. We will find you a chamber here in the tower away from the hustle and bustle below. Then when you are somewhat recovered, you will discover what you want to do. I truly believe him. I really do believe that this have sense. This have a lot of sense, actually. And that might still be a trap. He might be fooling me, but let's just... You nod. He is right. Everything he says is simple and true. You are a puppet, tagged along by invisible strings. The Archmage watches you. You stand quite still, breathing. In and out, a clarity is entering your muddled mind. Perhaps you are beginning to overcome your orders. The elderly figure observes. That is good. One step at a time. You find you are speaking. Thank you, Archmage. I have been lost for a long time and I am far from my home. He nods. I understand. We will offer what hospitality we can. It is most appreciated. You reply, bowing your head. The Archmage gestures to the door, and you take your leave.